everyone, welcome back to the channel. And should you still move to Calgary in 2024? We're going to answer that question, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back to Living in YYC. Mark and Natalie with eXp Realty in our brand new office. Well, this is my office.
Yes, and mine is right next door.
Right next door. We have moved. If you've been following the channel, we have moved. We're going to do a video on the new place at some point in time, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Done an amazing job decorating it. We were pretty much moved in within a week, so she's a machine. She's a machine.
I just can't handle any kind of boxes or clutter. It's just the way it is.
It's just the way it is, exactly. So the title of this video is, should you still move to Calgary in 2024? We're filming this in October of 2024 because in 2023, we did a video called Don't Move to Calgary Until You Know a Few Things. Had over 25,000 views. This is going to be more about the numbers. We're going to start here in a bit, but if that's you, if you've been thinking about making a move to Calgary, hit us up. All the info is in the link in the description below to book right into our calendar for a no obligation buyer consultation.
Nice.
Kind of rhymed.
Nice. He's a rapper. He didn't even know it.
Exactly. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, so nothing's impossible. Me and Vanilla Ice are good buddies.
Yes.
Yeah, so today's video is all about, should you still move here, right? Is Calgary still the right place to move to for you? And we're happy to have that conversation. We can go through all the stats with you in detail on one of those calls. If you're a stats nerd like myself, I'm going to put Natalie through it today. So we've really seen a market shift here in Calgary in 2024. Yes. So when COVID started, you know, people started to kind of feel like they wanted different space or more space or, you know, different things. We moved into the house we were in prior in January of COVID, well, just before COVID started. Yeah. And that kind of started this massive snowball rolling. People could work from home. Yeah. So they're moving from Toronto and Vancouver because the vast majority of interprovincial migration into Calgary has been from those two provinces. But we've seen a market shift really since April and May of this year, right?
Yeah, and it really sort of spiked up more in probably August, I would say.
Yeah.
It's been a wild summer.
Yeah, wild summer for sure, for sure. So we're going to get into some numbers here, and what we're trying to do is explain to you what has happened to the market here in Calgary. And if you are thinking about not only moving to Calgary, but moving in Calgary, you know, now's a good time to be chatting about this kind of conversation because we're in the throes of probably multiple interest rate drops by the Bank of Canada. So this might be a bit of an island, a bit of a pocket of an opportunity to buy as a local Calgarian before the BC and Ontario people come back into the market. All right, so if we rewind the tape back to April, there was probably snow on the ground. Or we were thinking about those warm summer nights that were upcoming. So April sales, they were actually 37% higher than long-term averages, and they were 7% up from April 2023. New listings were up 11%, and keep those that new listings number in particular in mind. So it was up 11% compared to the year prior. Our total inventory, 2,711. Keep that number in mind. Our benchmark price went up 9.9% to 6,037. That was up from 2023. And sales under 500,000 experienced almost a 30% decline due to a lack of inventory. And then we're going to talk about two terms in this video: sale to new listing ratio. So for every new listing that comes on, how many of them sell? It was 83%. That is a very strong seller's market. And our supply, which also indicates buyer's seller's market or something in between, was less than a month. So what that means is, if no more inventory hit the market, how long would it take based on the current pace of sales for all this inventory to be sold? Less than a month is really, really quick, and that's an extreme seller's market. So Natalie, talk to us a little bit about May.
So in May, it was up 34% higher than long-term averages, and it was 1% down from May of 2023.
So we're already seeing a bit of a shift here.
Yeah, it's starting.
Yeah.
New listings were up 19% from May of 24. So there again, it's climbing up with a total inventory of 3,402. Benchmark price was 6,053. which was up 9.5% from 2023. So the sale to new listing ratio at that point was 71%. Supply was 1.10 months. So fast forward to September.
Yeah. So just going back to May there for a second, so you can see that the April sale to new listing ratio, 83%, dropped to 71% in May. And we're not going to talk about July and August because we're seeing the same progression here. And where we saw the biggest difference now was in September when those stats just came up.
Yeah.
So September sales only 16% higher than long-term averages. Keep in mind, back in April, they were 37% higher. That is a massive, massive difference. 17% down from September of 2023 compared to April when they were 7% up. Now, having said that, they're still above long-term averages, but we're comparing where we're at based on this current market that we've been in over the past couple of years. New listings, we're not even going to give you a percentage because it was the highest total of new listings to hit the market since 2008. I mean, that was a long time ago.
You had hair.
I had, yeah, potentially. I mean, I just wasn't maybe shaving it all off. Total inventory. Okay, so keep in mind, April's total inventory at the end of the month, 2,711. September's 5,064, so nearly double what we saw in spring, but that's still below the long-term average of what we would normally see in September, which is right around 6,000 listings. The benchmark price of $596.9, slightly lower than August, but 5% up from 2023. Now we're seeing month over month slight declines or neutrality in the pricing. Calgary Real Estate Board says that's normal for fall when you compare it to spring. But again, we track these trends on a weekly basis, so check out our shorts here on YouTube or on our social media channels as well, which will be linked down below. So our sales to new listing ratio, only 54%. Back in April, it was
87%.
83.
83%. Pardon me.
But that is still a 30-point drop from April to September. So that is crazy. Supply was 2.53. Let's break it down a little bit more. So on the detached side of things, supply was 2.46 months. Semi-detached is still a little tighter at 2.08. Row townhouses even tighter at less than 2 months. Apartments though, and I've been ringing the warning bell on this one. I feel like Jim Cramer on CNBC.
Yeah.
Like, brr, brr. 3.23 months of supply on apartment condos. So basically, we're basically in a balanced market for apartment condos. So if you've been thinking about it as an investor, man, it is a great time to look at that as an investment. On the flip side of that, if you've been thinking about exiting the apartment condo market as an investor or as a first-time seller, definitely reach out. We should be having a conversation before this slips even further so that you're in a position where it's just tough to sell, right? So there you go. So there is the April to September changes. So again, a 30-point difference, a 30-point drop in that sale to new listing ratio, more than double the supply, and for months of supply, and more than almost double the inventory. So that's the picture. Now you might be saying, okay, well, what does this mean to me? So if you're a seller, let's talk a little bit about our past couple of months here for us. Done a lot of deals over the past couple of months, blessed to be able to work with so many people we know that have been referred to us. And so we had kind of the tale of two townhouses, like I like to say it. One that sold on the first weekend.
First weekend, yeah, complete, and it went for over list.
Went for over list. We did not underlist. We didn't underlist this one. We listed it at 420 in a very desirable area in Palliser in Calgary. The one a few doors down had a fully developed basement. Ours did not. They were similar in terms of renovation. That one also had a dedicated driveway, where our clients was more just, assigned parking, communal parking. And it sold for 425. We got them 421. Yeah. Right. So that's an example of this is the overall picture, but it's so specific and granular to the neighborhood you live in. Yes. So you really need to reach out for the full picture on that. And then another one we had also sold first day on the market, over asking. And then we had another one in a desirable area as well. Yeah. Similar updating to the one I just mentioned. And it took over a month, right? So there's just reach out, I think, is the best way to say it.
Absolutely.
Right?
We actually answer our phones.
Yeah, we answer our phones. we answer our phones. So what we want to do to wrap this up is Calgary is a detached home market. So on average, in the months that we've been talking about, just under 50%, so about 47 to 48% of our sales are of detached, single family detached homes. So now we're going to break this down even further for you. If you aren't asleep already, just hang on. We're going to get you your melatonin for real estate stats here. All right. So our detached total of sales in September was 2,316. So now we're going to break it down by price, because I think that's important to understand. Like, why are sales down and listings are up? Well, there's a lot more to the picture than that, because under 600K in Calgary right now, only 336 listings.
Yes.
Like nothing.
Crazy.
Nothing. Really tough to get a decent home in a nice area for under 600K. Now we're going to move to 600 to 800.
And it's 1,000
Yep.
or 43% of sales in that
Yeah.
market. Yeah.
Because the detached benchmark price was right around 756 in September. So we were curious, what does that get you? And that's the vast majority of listings. And then when we go 800 to a million, still a pretty good chunk. 492 or 21% of the inventory sits there. And how about a million to 1.5?
$1 million to 1.5, 277 or 12% of the market.
Yeah, and when you go past 1.5 million, still 224 active listings, or about 10% of the total inventory. So when we look at the detached pricing, what's been going on with pricing? Well, not a whole lot. I mean, generally speaking, again, we've seen a little bit of a slide, 1 to 2 points, 1 point per month over the past couple of months. Back in April, it was 749. That was up 13% year over year. May, it was 761. So big jump from April. And that was also up 13% year over year. And then by September, it's now dropped to 757.1, which is now only up 8.8% year over year. The bigger concern for me is the total amount of inventory that's still sitting on the market.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I don't know, it's catch-22. I think for buyers, there's a lot of buyers that have been desperately wanting to get into the market, but they've been bid out multiple times. The house they want to go see sells within 3 or 4 hours. It's just been sort of bonkers. So it's sort of nice to be able to have that opportunity to actually take your time and find something that's right for you.
Yep, and put in a home inspection condition and
have
have
a
a financing. Yeah,
all
exactly.
that kind of stuff.
Exactly. All right, so let's talk about the detached sale to new listing ratio.
All right, in April it was 81%, May was 61%, and September was 53%.
So you can see that if you want to call it a slide, has really started happening in May.
Yeah.
And then when we look at the detached months of supply, so again, just as a reminder, Real Estate 101, when we're looking at what is a balanced seller's buyer's market, it's sale to new listing ratio and months of supply. So months of supply for detached homes in April in Calgary, 0.92, less than a month of supply. Up slightly in May to 1.15. September, more than double that to 2.46. And again, we're talking about the overall market. If you said, what is it under 600K? It's a lot less than that.
Yeah.
600 to 800, there's good supply there. That's where the majority of the listings are sitting.
Yeah.
And if you're looking in the $1 million plus price point, there's also good availability there as well. So that kind of wraps it up. I mean, again, let's break it down here. If you're a buyer in this market, absolutely it is. People say, oh, it's a great time to buy. Well, of the last 2 to 3 years, Natalie, I would say this is a better time to buy. Yes, prices are up, but your interest rates are starting to come down too.
Absolutely. And I think that's where we're seeing a lot of flood on the market, is quite frankly because a lot of investors bought apartment condos, row townhouses, and then they actually take possession. So whether they bought new or whatever, but the issue now is that the interest rates went up and up and up, and they're desperately trying to get rid of them. But now those interest rates are going in the opposite direction, which is a great thing for everyone. So,
yeah, I think so as well. And in fact, when we were looking for our home, we actually looked at some brand new build condos. We could see in the system that they had been taken possession by a buyer from Ontario. Just saying, probably an investor. And now they're trying to offload them because from the time they had signed the contract to when they were built, they went up significantly in price and did well. So good for them.
Yeah.
Just report it to CRA. That's all I'm going to say. And then if you're a seller, what do you say to sellers? I think it really depends on the price, but what's your motivation? Where are you going to go? Are you buying in Calgary? If you're buying in Calgary, fantastic. Our only thing is you cannot underprice a home in this market, but you absolutely 100% can overprice it.
Absolutely, and we've seen that as well.
We've seen both sides of the coin there for that, and so there's our recommendations. There's a bit of an update on the market here in fall of 2024. So should you, this is the title, we're gonna come back to it, wrap it up. Should you still move to Calgary in 2024? Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yes. We are friendly people.
Yeah.
We have a beautiful city, amazing weather, absolutely stunning landscape around the city. It's just, it's the bomb.
It is the bomb.
It's the bomb.
Yeah. And again, when we're not going to go through all the prices, Toronto versus Vancouver, and their markets are changing and shifting as well. So I think we've seen a bit of a decrease because some of those Toronto people are like, oh, actually, you know what? I can't afford to buy here now. But it's going to take a while till those prices ever come down to our level. Even at our detached price being in the mid sevens, like, that's just not reality. No. So you definitely should move to Calgary. Just make sure you pack a parka. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, you could have a parka in the morning and then shorts in the afternoon.
That's true.
You know,
that is true.
Like they say, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah. So if that's you, if you're thinking about making the move to Calgary, again, plug for the buyer consultation, the no obligation buyer consultation. That is down in the description below. If you're in Calgary, we'd love to hear from you. What do you think about the current market? What are your concerns? Are you thinking about making a move as well? So place your comment down below, like, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next one, everybody.
Bye.